Alright guys, so today's March 26th, and today is officially one more month till Avengers Endgame, and I'm so excited. I can't believe it's already been 11 months since Infinity War. That's just crazy to me. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna be starting off the Road to Endgame video, almost like I did with How to Train Your Dragon and the Lego movies. Of course, leading up to the newer movies, and of course, I'm gonna be doing one for the MCU. So very excited about this one. We got 21 movies to watch, including Captain Marvel, so I'll be returning to go see that in theaters, hopefully. And so, yeah, I guess today officially starts my marathon. So the way this is gonna work is I'm gonna split each video up. So basically, after the first Avengers, after I'm done like watching everything that leads up to the first Avengers, I'll go on to part 2, and then after I'm done with Age of Ultron, I'll go on to part 3, and then after I'm done with Infinity War, of course, that leads up to the movie day for Endgame. So anyways, yeah, so this video will be split into parts. So anyways, let's start off, and also I'm gonna be watching the movies chronologically. So I know that the first Iron Man movie is the first MCU movie, but this year, because every year that a new Avengers movie comes out, I usually start off with Iron Man and work my way up there. But this year, I want to do it in chronologically, timeline order. So we're gonna start off with Captain America: The First Avenger. Of course, we're gonna go to the shelf right here, and of course, we got all the MCU and comic book movies, and of course, we're gonna start off with Captain America: The First Avenger. I do own the 3D, so we're gonna watch this in 3D, and let's go upstairs and pop it in. So of course I am watching the movie in 3D, and I'll let you guys know right after the movie what my opinion about the movie is. And yeah. Alright guys, so I rewatched Captain America: The First Avenger, and it's not as great as I remember it was. It's still a very good movie, but the movie definitely has some pretty big issues. Like overall, the setup to the finale of the movie, like the overall setup, so like the first 2 acts of the movie, they're kind of wonky. Like there's some really good stuff about it, but there's some stuff that are just about it. But most of that has to do because of the writing. Some of the writing is okay. And another huge problem that I had with this movie was the villain, Red Skull. Like, he's a really cool villain, just that I just don't think that they really embraced how cool he could be as a villain even in the live action movie, which is kind of a shame. So, the movie's still good. The payoff is actually pretty great. The last act is, it's really good. So, and the 3D is also pretty cool in this movie. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Captain America: The First Avenger a B.
You want a part of me?
Alright guys, so I did go see Captain Marvel. This was my 3rd time watching the movie. The first time I saw it in IMAX, the second time I saw it in Dolby, and this 3rd time was in 3D. And if you guys are wondering what my favorite experience for the movie was, it was Dolby, because it's weird because typically Marvel movies are better in IMAX, but Captain Marvel is probably the first ever Marvel movie where I preferred to watch it in Dolby than IMAX. But the 3D was pretty cool. There was some cool 3D, some really good use of 3D actually, a lot of pop outs and a lot of depth. So if the movie's still playing in 3D, definitely give it a chance in 3D. You're gonna get your money's worth. And as for the movie itself, I just reviewed it just a few weeks ago, but it did get better on the second watch. And I believe it's because the twist that kind of happens towards the end of the movie, after you rewatch it a second time, and when you keep that in mind of what happens towards the end of the movie, I think it just makes the story just a little bit more better, and you kind of understand it more. So, that's what I think about the movie. So my grade for Captain Marvel did go up slightly. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Captain Marvel a B+. So I'm glad that it was better on the second watch. But anyways, next movie is gonna be Iron Man. So alright guys, so I'm gonna watch the one that started it all, the one that started the MCU, of course, the first Iron Man. I do have this exclusive box set that looks like a mask, and then the disc are inside. So anyways, let's go rewatch this one. I have a lot of good memories about watching this movie when it came out in 2008. And so yeah, let's put this one on. And of course, we got Infinity War on Netflix right now. I was watching Netflix before this, but anyways, let's move on. So for those of you guys wondering how this works, basically just open up the mask here, and then we have the disc right here. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like sometimes I kind of need something to kind of snack on to watch the movie. I mean, I'm just not down to spending $8 on popcorn. So what I do is I just usually get my own snacks. You know, right now I'm just gonna have some Lunchables, and then we're gonna enjoy this thing. Even after 11 years, almost 11 years, I still love Iron Man. Iron Man is definitely still one of my favorite movies in the MCU, and I kind of expected to like the movie a little less. But you know, one problem that I kind of have now that I didn't have in the past was the villain of the movie. Like Jeff Bridges is really good. I just don't think he's that great of a villain. But other than that, it's just such a great movie. It's definitely the way that an origin story should be handled. And you know, with that being said, I'm gonna give Iron Man an A. Alright guys, so just in time for my MCU marathon, I did get something from Disney Movie Rewards, and they actually added a few MCU titles to the catalog, and of course I got a few of them. I got one of the MCU movies that I still need, and luckily I just got it. Or at least they also added some 4Ks. This one should be the 4K. The other movie that I'm missing from my MCU collection should be here within the next few days. But anyways, let's open this up. So here it is, guys, the Avengers 4K. I already own this on Blu-ray, but of course it was time to upgrade. I heard the 4K transfer on this was awesome, so of course I decided to get it. It wasn't all that much points, so yeah, pretty excited about this. And you know, it's such a coincidence that I got Avengers in the mail today because tickets for Endgame went on sale today. Today has been crazy for ticket sales. I woke up at 4 in the morning to get my tickets to make sure that I don't go through any problems trying to get my tickets, and luckily I didn't. I got 2 tickets, one for the Thursday night, it comes out in IMAX, and on the Friday it comes out in IMAX 3D. And I'm so glad I woke up early to get my tickets because everyone all day has been complaining about getting their tickets because ANC crashed, Autumn Tickets crashed. Fandango did not crash. They had this waiting list, but the waiting list, or the line was over an hour. I know people that have been on Fandango for 7 hours to get the tickets for Endgame. So I'm so lucky that I got up in the morning and I got the perfect seats as well. I got them right in the middle. So I'm so happy about that. Alright guys, so after the events of the first Iron Man movie, it directly leads us to Iron Man 2. So yeah, I think I like this movie. I'm not sure, I need to rewatch it. But yeah, I'm so lucky to have the slipcover edition. I think the slipcover is pretty rare. But anyways, yeah, let's go watch this one, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts, my new thoughts about it afterwards. So yeah, let's go. So after watching the first Iron Man and Iron Man 2 back to back, Iron Man 2 was a huge step down. This movie is kind of a disappointment if you actually think about it. I don't think that this movie was necessarily necessary. I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I don't think it's a good movie all that much either. It's kind of right in the middle. There's a lot of things that I really like about this movie and a lot of things that I don't like about this movie. For example, I mean, I really like the approach that this movie was taking, kind of showing you how Tony is affected by the public after he admitted to him being Iron Man. Sometimes that storyline works in this movie, and sometimes it doesn't really all that much. Jon Favreau's direction in this movie, he's a great director, and he really tried his best to work with this extremely weak script. And of course, I really do like, of course, Robert Downey Jr., and I really like the addition of Don Cheadle as War Machine. He was great in this movie, replacing Terrence Howard from the first movie. And the action scenes are awesome. They're very well directed. But there are a lot of problems with this movie. The movie's just really inconsistent, and it has a lot of writing issues, a lot of things that really do not make sense. And the villains in this movie, let's just admit it, they're not good villains. Sure, Whiplash is a pretty cool villain, but they didn't use him to his advantage at all. There's just no motivation to their characters. You really don't even know why they're the villains in the first place. And I also, another thing that kind of bothered me was Black Widow's introduction, especially since she becomes more of a big deal throughout the MCU. Her introduction was just extremely disappointing, extremely weak. Now, yeah, when I was younger, when I was 8 years old, when I saw this movie in theaters, I absolutely loved it, but I was a kid. And right now, I'm just in the middle. I think it's all right. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I don't think it's that good of a movie at all either. It's mediocre. It's right in the middle. So with that being said, I would give Iron Man 2 a C+. So today's movie is The Incredible Hulk. This movie basically, the timeline, basically the events of Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, and Thor just kind of happened at the same time, I believe. So, but anyways, this movie is up next in the timeline after Iron Man 2, and I do own the DVD for this movie. Just that I don't want to go downstairs to get the DVD when I could just, I own the movie on digital, so I could just watch it in HD, without getting out of my room. So, anyways, let's begin this. I don't remember much about this movie because it's kind of forgettable, but let's get started. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I did start this movie, and then I was watching this movie while I was packing on my trip from Mexico, and I just got back from my trip to Mexico, and I only watched the first 17 minutes of the movie on digital, and then I just got back from Mexico today. It was only a few days that I went there, and I watched the rest on DVD. And yeah, I know DVD. It's the first MCU movie I've ever bought back in 2008. So I bought this back in 2008, over 10 years ago. But anyways, I know I'm on the minority about this, but I actually still quite like the Incredible Hulk quite a lot. I actually think this is an extremely fun movie to watch, especially the third act. The third act is probably the best solo, the best standalone third act action scene in the first phase of the MCU. I just love that fight between the Hulk and the Abomination in the first, in the third act of the movie. I just love it so much. But of course, the movie does have problems, just the usual now. Some of the story and the writing is a bit lousy. And the villain, the Abomination is just another one of those Marvel villains where he's the bad guy just because he wants control over the main hero. And, and his motivations don't exactly, he doesn't really have any motivation. I mean, he's just the villain just because he hates Bruce Banner. So, but other than that, I still think that the rest of the movie is actually pretty good, and they really did try quite a lot with this movie. I actually like Edward Norton as the Hulk better than Mark Ruffalo. I love Mark Ruffalo, but I think that Edward Norton suits more as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. So yeah, I'm gonna miss him. And anyways, yeah, I enjoy this movie. So with that being said, I'm gonna give The Incredible Hulk a B. Again, not a perfect movie, but I think it's pretty good for what it is. And also perfect timing because I actually, before today, I did not own the first Thor movie, but I just got it from Disney Movie Rewards in the mail today. So perfect timing because Thor is the next movie, so I'm gonna pop it in tomorrow because it's kind of late right now. But anyways, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for Thor. Alright, so this has been a long day. I actually just got back from the movies, from seeing Shazam in Dolby a fifth time actually. I went to go see it with the family today, but anyways, I'm gonna try to stay up right now. It's 11 p.m. I'm gonna try to watch 2, maybe 3 MCU movies, of course. I'm gonna watch Thor right now, and then after Thor we have the Avengers, and then after the Avengers I start another video where I start off with Iron Man 3, so I'm just waiting, to start it off right now, so let's continue. Can we all just agree that Thor is probably the worst movie in Phase 1 MCU, because that's how I'm thinking right now, and I'm not really all that excited to watch this one again, but I mean, we gotta move on, so yeah. Guys, it's like 12 a.m. and I just keep on napping within this movie because this movie's so fucking boring. So it took me 8 years to realize why I still don't own this movie, and I finally found out watching this movie last night why why it took me so long to own this movie. Of course, I got it for free off Disney Movie Rewards, so I'm not really complaining, and plus now I have all the MCU movies, but just because simply I don't think it's that good of a movie. Now, of course, there are some good aspects about this movie. Of course, Chris Hemsworth is really good as Thor. Tom Hiddleston is really great as Loki, actually, which if there's something that this movie has that the other MCU movies prior to Thor don't have, is a great villain like Loki, so at least this movie has that going for it, and plus this movie has some really cool action scenes. But just everything else about this movie is just so dull, it's so boring, it's kind of lifeless. Like the writing, it make me not care for any of the movie or any of the characters. They try to do this fish out of water story with Thor being on Earth, and it just doesn't really work all that much. And the poor attempt of comedy, it's just not that funny. There's some decent directing by Kenneth Branagh. That's his name. I forget his last name every time, but you know, he there's some decent directing from him, but just everything else about this movie I just simply don't care for. You know, it's not a terrible movie, it's just not a good movie. At least I don't think it's that good of a movie. And I just it's a shame because I would think that as the older I get, the more I would enjoy this movie. But I really don't enjoy this movie the more I watch it, which is very unfortunate. So with that being said, so far it's my least favorite movie in the MCU. Maybe my least favorite overall. I don't know. We'll have to see. But as of now, and it's very disappointing giving a grade like this to an MCU movie. But with I'm gonna give Thor a D plus. I just didn't care for it. Alright guys, so it's time to revisit the first Avengers in 4K. I'm very excited to see how this looks like in 4K. Of course, I did get it from Disney Movie Rewards for free, so I'm excited about that. And it's 1 a.m. right now, and while watching Thor, I thought I was pretty tired because I kept on falling asleep and napping. But the thing is that because Thor is a boring movie, that's why I kept on napping. But in reality, I'm just not tired. I was just very bored watching that movie. But anyways, on to the Avengers. Yeah, let's get started. So yeah, I did finish Avengers, and it was like 4 a.m. when I finished this movie, and I'm still pretty tired from it. But yeah, I just love everything about this movie. I think this movie is just so perfect. You know, there's nothing else to talk about this movie that hasn't been said about this movie. And by the way, the 4K transfer is really clean with this movie. But anyways, yeah, just to keep it simple, I'm gonna give this movie an A plus. I just absolutely love this movie so much. But anyways, that ends the first part of my MCU marathon video. Of course, part 2 starts off with Iron Man 3, and then it ends off with Age of Ultron. So of course, that's going to be part 2 coming soon in a few days. Of course, I'm in spring break right now, so it's going to be a lot easier to get through these movies because I'm off on break and I can watch as many of these movies as I want this weekend. But anyways, yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. It's been fun leading up to the first Avengers movie. Now we're going to lead up into Age of Ultron, and then after that, part 3, it's going to be leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. So we're only less than 2 weeks away. I'm so damn excited. And on to part 2. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.